Good afternoon guys, welcome to Maths online class of Anand Medical Academy. As we are discussing the functions and their graphs, up to now how many we have discussed? See, those are first one identity function, first one identity, next one constant function, next third one is polynomial function, fourth one is modulus function. So these four functions we have discussed. Identity function is nothing but f of x is equal to what? X only. For identity function, f of x is equal to x. For constant function, f of x is equal to k. For polynomial function, we have done example like f of x equal to x square. But you can also do f of x equal to x cube, x square plus 2. You can do those type of functions also. Next, modulus function. Modulus function is f of x equal to what? Mod x. For this all what x belongs to? For this all x belongs to R only. These four functions we have discussed. Now in this session, what are the functions we will discuss is step function and rational function and signum function. What? Signum function. So we have these 7 functions and their graphs. Out of 7, one question will come for board exam. So now we will discuss signum function. We will discuss. See, signum function. What do we mean by signum function? So how we are writing for all these functions like that? The function f from r tends to r. The function f from r tends to r be defined as, see all of you, f of x is equal to, see, -1 when x less than 0, 0 when x equal to 0, 1 when x is greater than 0 is called signum function. And it is denoted by or written as f of x equal to mod x by x, where x belongs to r. F of x equal to mod x by x, where x belongs to r. So this is what we will call statement of signum function, very important one. If you observe this, you will get an idea of the modulus function. See, you know now modulus function, what is that? F of x equal to minus x when x less than 0, 0 when x equal to 0, x when x is greater than 0, right or not? So this is somewhat similar to this, but here -1 will be there, but here minus x and x will be there. How we got -1 for all x less than 0 values, 1 for all x greater than 0 values. Why we got? Why? Because the function is f of x equal to mod x by x. F of x equal to what? Mod x by x. But this is which function? Modulus function. What is modulus function? Minus x when x less than 0. Na? If x is less than 0, it will become minus x. So mod x will become minus x by x, which is equal to what? -1. Which is equal to what? -1. That means for x less than 0 values, what is the function? -1. 0 means 0 by anything 0. Right? X greater than 0. For greater than 0, what is modulus of x? Positive x. So it will become positive x by positive x, which will get 1. For which values? For x greater than 0 values. So this is about a signum function. Now we need to draw graph. So this is a positive x axis, negative x axis. This is y axis, and this is a y dash. This is 0. So this is 1, this is -1, this is 1, and this is a -1. And this is 2, this is 3, -2, -3, so on. Now, if x equal to 0, what is the function value? For 0 means 0 only. 0 means 0. If you take 0.5, that is greater than 1. If you take 0.5, what is that? 1. If you take 0.1, that is also 1. If you take 0.2, that is also 1. If you take 2, greater than 0, for that also it is 1 only now. So whatever you take positive values, if you take greater than 0, any value if you take, what will get? 1. But for 0, it is not 1, it is 0. Again, if you take less than 0 means minus 0.5, it is minus 1. Minus 0.5, minus 1. For minus 1, minus 1. If you take any less than 0 values, that indicates minus 1. So for all these values, it is minus 1. But for at x equal to 0, it is 0. Right? If you observe these two, at minus 1 and 1, you need to write open circles. But at 0, it is dark circle. Why? Because 0 means 0. After 0, it indicates what? It indicates 1. Less than 0, it indicates minus 1. So this is the graph of Signum function. Scale you can write on x-axis 1 centimeter is equal to 1 unit. On y-axis 1 centimeter is equal to 1 unit. Right? Our part is over or incomplete? Incomplete. Why? Because we did not return domain and range. What is domain, guys? Domain means what? Input values. Domain means what? Input values. If you observe this x-axis, we can take any value. 0 also we can take, 0 will come. If you take 1, we will get 1. So we can take any number on this real number. So domain is R. What is range? After taking any real number, what we are getting output? 0 means 0 we are getting. For less than all 0 values, minus 1. For all greater than 0 values, 1. So what is range? What we may get? Only we will get either minus 1, 0 or 1. This is what? Range. But when it comes to codomain, second set. R tends to R. First set is R, second set is R. So domain and codomain are R and R, nothing but real numbers. But range is minus 1, 0, 1. Right? Pause the video and note it down. Next one. See, yesterday 4 completed. Now Signum also completed. That Signum function is f of x equal to what? Mod x by x. If x greater than 0 means plus x by x will give 1. X less than 0 means minus x by x is minus 1. 0 means 0 by anything 0. So range of Signum function is minus 1, 0 and 1. But in terms of set, nothing but flower brackets only you need to write. So now remaining two functions. What is? One is step function and the other one is rational function. So now we will discuss this one, step function. That is nothing but greatest integer function. Greatest integer function. When it comes to greatest integer function, see, this statement is very important. So out of 100%, out of this graph, on 50% they may ask this graph. 50% they may ask this graph. In remaining 50% they may consider anyone, right? So very important one, greatest integer function. That is the function f from R tends to R. The function f from R tends to R. Defined as f of x is equal to step x, f of x equal to, that one we will read it as like, right, see, these are like closed brackets, in middle you need to write x, f of x equal to, but we will read this as step x, f of x equal to step x, where x belongs to R, assumes the greatest integer less than or equal to x. Assumes the greatest integer less than or equal to x. Such a function is called greatest integer function. Greatest integer function. Do you understand this? I think no. See, the function f from R tends to R defined by f of x equal to what? Step x. This function we will consider as greatest integer function, but we will read it as step x. Step x, where x belongs to R, assumes the greatest integer less than or equal to x. Such a function is called greatest integer function. So that is denoted by like this: f of x equal to what? Step x, where x belongs to R. Right now, so you know now, number line means minus infinity to infinity will be there. So this is a real line, real number line. This is 0, here 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, so on will be there. This is about a number line. Now, so this is x values is what? X belongs to R, nothing but x values are input values. X values are input values. After substituting these input values in this step function, nothing but in closed brackets, what it will give output? Now we will discuss. See, I will consider f of 0. I will consider f of 0, nothing but step 0. F of 0 means step 0. That step 0 is 0. Remember, step 0 is 0. F of 1, step 1 is equal to 1. F of 2, step 2 is equal to 2. F of minus 2, step minus 2 is minus 2. F of minus 10, step minus 10 is equal to what? Minus 10. That means whatever you substitute integers, only integers. Whatever you substitute integers, 0, 1, 2, minus 10, minus 50, 50, 25. Whatever you substitute integers in this function, it will give same. When it comes to integers, it will give same. But what in terms of, if you take decimals, like if you take 1.5, you take 1.5. So here it will be there, right? 1.5. F of 1.5, nothing but step 1.5. What is step 1.5? What you are guessing? Is it 1.5? No. So from this 1.5, I will draw a line to the left side. I will draw a line to the left side. Now see this. Assumes the greatest integer less than or equal to x. If we consider this as x, if we consider this 1.5 as x, now what they are telling? Assumes the greatest integer less than or equal to x. For this x, 1.5 less than or equal to, in this less than or equal to, which is the greatest integer? In this less than side, these minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, these are great integers. In this, what is the greatest integer? 1. Right? From that 1.5 left side, greatest integer is 1. So answer is 1. That's it. Next, f of 2.7. Nothing but step 2.7. What is step 2.7? 2.7 lies between 2 and 3. 2.7 lies between 2 and 3. So from this 2.7, I will draw a left side line. I will draw. In that left side, which is the greatest integer? Out of these, which is the greatest? 2 only. So 2.7 is 2. Right? Now, if I write, see guys, if I write f of minus 1.5, nothing but step minus 1.5. What is step minus 1.5? Where minus 0.5 lies? Minus 1.5 lies between minus and 0 or minus 1 and minus 2. Minus 1.5 lies in between minus 1 and minus 2. From this minus 1.5, if I draw left side line, in this which is greatest integer? Minus 2. So this is minus 2. So for 1.5 is 1, but for minus 1.5 is minus 2. Right? If I take 5.67, step of 5.67, 5.67, positive number is 5. Right? That value is 5. If I take minus 5.67, minus 5.67 is lies between minus 5 and minus 6. If we draw a line like this, which is greatest integer? Minus 6. So for minus 5.67 is minus 6, plus 5.67 is plus 5. Right? In assignment, I will give some of the step values you need to tell. Right? So this is about step function. Did you understand? The function f from R tends to R defined as f of x equal to step x, where x belongs to R, assumes the greatest integer less than or equal to x. Greatest integer less than or equal to x. Now why less than? Integers means integers only. Why? Because if I take 4, from this 4, I will draw a line to that left side. But what does it says? Greatest integer less than or equal to x. If x is equal to 4, equal to x and less than, which is the greatest integer? 4 only. So that's why for integers we will write same value. But for positive decimals and negative numbers we will say left side integers. Now when it comes to graph of greatest integer function, see carefully. See, this graph is very important. So from this graph only, this greatest integer function we will consider as step function. Why? Because see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Here 1, 2, 3, 4. This is -1, -2, -3. So -1, -2, -3. Scale is on x-axis 1 centimeter is equal to 1 unit. On y-axis also 1 centimeter is equal to 1 unit. That you write. Right? Now I will substitute the values. 0 means what? 0 only. 0 means 0. Integers means same. 1 means what? 1. 1 means 1. 2 means 2. 3 means 3. 4 means 4. Like that. For -1 is -1. -2 is -2. -3 is -3. Right? So it looks like steps. Now you see again. If it is 1.5, what is 1.5? 1 only. 1.2, 1 only. 1.3, 1 only. Up to 1.9, it is 1 only. But what is 2? 2 means 2, not here. Right? So like this, 2 up to 2.99999, it is 2 only. But when it comes to 3, it will jump to 3. From 3 up to 3.999, it is 3 only. 3.9 means 3 only. But when it comes to 4, it jumps to 4. So that's why here open circle. Like that, for right side we need to put open circles. Right side we need to put open circles. Right? Why? Because when it comes to this negative side, if I take -1.72, -1.72 lies in between -1 and -2. For that, what is the greatest integer less than or equal to 6 is -2. So for -1.75 it is -2 only. Right? So like this we will draw. If you observe the graph of this greatest integer function, it looks like steps. It looks like steps, right or not? So that's why this function we will consider as step function. We will consider this as step function. You can write step function or greatest integer function, no problem. But while reading this, we will read it as step x. What is this? Step 5. This is step 2.57. But always remember, integers will give same integers. But for the decimal values, greatest integer less than or equal to x will follow. Now you tell me what is domain and range for this? What is domain and range? If you consider domain, if you substitute any values, you can substitute any values in the place of x. So domain is what? R. Domain is what? R. Codomain is also R. Codomain is also R. Now, what is range? What are output values we can get while substituting real numbers? If you observe, if you substitute integers, what we are getting? Integers only. If we substitute decimals, what we are getting? Integers only. So nothing but range is integers. Whatever the number you substitute, whether it may be negative integer or negative decimal, positive decimal, 0 or whatever you substitute, what we are getting? Range is only Z. So range is integers. So this is about greatest integer function or step function. Positively and note it. See guys, up to now we have learned these functions. So those are identity, constant, polynomial, modulus, signum, step function. Nothing but greatest integer function. Now the function which is left to discuss is rational function. So once again you tell how we can write the identity function. Identity function is f of x equal to x. Constant is f of x equal to some constant. It may be k, p, q or c. Polynomial function. f of x equal to x square, x cube, like that you can take. Next, modulus function, f of x equal to what? Modulus of x. In parallel lines, in middle you need to write x. Next, signum function. Signum function is f of x equal to mod x by x. Right? Next, step function, f of x equal to step x. So if you observe this, all x belongs to real numbers. Now we will discuss the last topic, that is rational function. First of all, what are rational functions? What are rational functions? If you observe, rational functions are functions of the type p by q. Functions of the type p by q, nothing but f of x by g of x. Rational functions are the functions of the type f of x by g of x, where f of x and g of x, both f of x and g of x are polynomial functions. Comma, g of x should not equal to 0. G of x not equal to 0. Why? Because it is in the form of p by q. In the p by q form, q not equal to 0. So like that, f of x by g of x, when both are polynomial functions and g of x not equal to 0. So this type of functions we will consider as rational functions. For example, f of x equal to 1 by x, 1 by x square, like that. Again, f of x equal to x square minus 3x plus 2 by x plus 5. So these type of functions we will consider as rational functions. Here what condition? Here condition is x not equal to 0. Why? Because denominator should not be equal to 0. Here what is the condition? Here also x not equal to 0, no? Here x not equal to 0, no? What we need to do is x plus 5 shouldn't be equal to 0. That means denominator should not be equal to 0. Then what is the value? X not equal to minus 5. X not equal to minus 5. Now if you observe all these functions, x belongs to R. For all these, x belongs to real numbers. That means in identity function, constant function, polynomial, modulus, signum function, and also for step function we can substitute any real number. It may be positive, negative or 0. But when it comes to this rational functions, denominator should not be equal to 0. That means domain of this is not real numbers. Domain of this is not real numbers. Domain of this polynomial function is r minus of set 0. Here domain is r minus of set 0. Why? Because except 0, no? That means any real number you can substitute except 0. So domain is r minus of 0. That means you can also write all real numbers except what? Except 0. What about this function? If it is a rational function, what is the domain of this function? Domain is all real numbers except what? Minus 5. So r minus of set minus 5. R minus of set minus 5. If you write in terms of set, it represents an element, nothing but a number. But you should not write r minus 5. R minus of minus 5. This is different. You should not write like that. You need to write r minus of set of minus 5. R minus of set 0. So like that, those type of functions we will consider as rational function. So let us discuss a question based on rational function which they may ask for 5 marks. Until then, pause the video and note it down. So now we will discuss the last function, which is a rational function. Its graph and domain and its range we will find. So question is, define the real valued function f from r minus set 0. R minus set 0 tends to r, defined by f of x equal to 1 by x, where x belongs to r minus of set 0. So what is x belongs to? That only should be domain. So draw graph and write its domain and range. So first we will write a statement, that is the function f from r minus of set 0 tends to r. R minus of set 0 tends to r. We defined as f of x equal to 1 by x, where x belongs to r minus of z0. X belongs to r minus of z0 is called what? Is called rational function. It's called rational function. Now this is about statement. Now we need to draw a graph. So to draw a graph we need some points. For this x value, what is that f of x? For this x value, what is that f of x? We need now. So for that purpose I am drawing a table. From that table we can draw a graph, and also we can identify domain and range also. X and y. Right. For example, I will take 0. I will take 0. So what is these values? On the upper row values belongs to x values. If I substitute 0, 1 by 0 what? 1 by 0 is undefined. Now nothing but not defined. So for 0 there will be no value. If I take 0.1, if I take 0.1, if you observe 1 by 0.1, 1 by 0.1 we can write 1 by 1 by 10, which is equal to 10, right? 0.1 means the value is 10. If we take 1, what is 1 by 1? Nothing but 1 only. If we take 10, what is 1 by 10? 0.1. Here what you understand? When positive value, if we are increasing from 0.1 to 10, if we are increasing, what it is? Value of that function is decreasing. 10, 1, 0.1. For example, if you take again 100, what is 1 by 100? What is 1 by 100? 0.01. 0.01. If we increasing the value of that function will be decreasing. Again like that. If we take minus 0.1, it will be minus 10. If it is minus 1, it is minus 1. 1 by minus 1 is minus 1. If you take minus 10, 1 by minus 10 is minus 0.1. Like that, if you take minus 100, it will be minus 0.01. Right? Did you understand this? Now, these values we will substitute on the graph. See this. So here the values are 0, 1 and 2, 3, so on. Here 10. So this is minus 1, so on up to minus 10. So this is 1, 2, 3, so on up to 10 here, right? So this is minus 1, minus 2, so on minus 10. Now what about 0? 0 doesn't have any value. But if we take 0.1, what is that value? 10. If we take 1, it is 1. If we take 10, it is 0.1. 0.1. So if you join these points like this, you will get a graph like this. You will get a graph like this. If it is 0.001, it will become hundreds, thousands like that. So it won't touch 0, but from near to 0, again it will come near to 0, right? Again, when it comes to negative side, for minus 1 it is minus 1, for minus 0.1 it is minus 10. So this side graph will come like this, near to 0, right? So this is the graph of what? Rational function. So scale, you can write scale on x-axis 1 centimeter is equal to 1 unit. On y-axis 1 centimeter is equal to 1 unit, right? So this is the graph of rational function. So it never meets, right? Next, if you observe domain, what is domain? Domain, clearly they are telling what is x value. What is x? R minus of z0. Nothing but all real numbers except 0. See, for that rational function depends on the function. Depends on rational function, domain and range will change. How it will change also I have shown. Denominator we need to equate to 0. Except that number, remaining all real numbers are domain values. Next, range. Range is also different to rational function based on that functions. Right. Now what is the range of this function? If you observe, I will tell this range of this function is same again, r minus of 0. R minus of 0. But you may tell, sir, these values won't be there. So, these values also will be there. So, did we get 0.5? Did we get 0.5? Yes. When we get 0.5, if x is equal to 2, 1 by 2 value, 0.5. See, all values, all positive values, negative values, all values will get, except 0 only you won't get in this rational function. So this is about domain and range, 2 marks, graph, 2 marks, so statement, 1 mark, totally 5 marks. So these type of problems will be there in functions and their graphs. So easily you can learn this. From this you definitely will get one question. See, pause the video and note it down. So today there will be an assignment based on one rational function I will give. What type of rational function I will give, and again one polynomial function also I will give. One rational function and one polynomial function. Based on that you draw graph and you write statement, you write domain and range and submit to me. If you have any doubts you can ask. Pause the video and note it down. Thank you for watching. Thank you.